You got 15 minutes to figure it out, Doctor.
15? Where do you people come up with these arbitrary numbers?
That's the time you got to learn what you need to, Doctor.
IJDM, we are back featuring the Motion Computing M1400 tablet as featured on the show Stargate Atlantis, and also obviously the Hero laptop that both, as you're seeing in this configuration, Dr. Weir would have on her desk in early seasons, and then also as Rodney's tablet. Sad enough I don't have the bump case that goes around it that protects it when he carried it around. And interestingly enough about this tablet, it is not touch screen like you think it is in modern terms, or like it was portrayed in the show. Unless they did a mod on it, I'm not really sure. But normally if you wanted to do anything on this tablet, you'd use a stylus, much like many other products of that time frame of the early 2000s.
Again with the arbitrary numbers.
Let's go ahead and get into this and take a look at the different I/O ports that this tablet has to offer. Starting on this side, we have a modem jack, not very handy nowadays. Do have a LAN network jack here. We have a VGA port. This is for the dock, sometimes called a port replicator, but we'll just call it a dock in this sense because it just literally docks into, as I will show. We got two USB ports. We have a FireWire port, interestingly enough, that Windows XP seems to find and then lose, then find, then lose. So maybe it's something with the driver I didn't get installed or something I'm missing, but it looks like all the hardware resources are loading correctly on this. We then have a microphone jack, and we also have a headphone port. That is what is on the bottom. On this side, we basically got, I believe there's two stereo speakers in this unit. We'll get around to the front in a moment. On this side, we have a PCM CIA slot, very handy. The only thing with this slot that I mainly use it for is putting software on and off the tablet using this USB to SD card converter. This little hatch, I just noticed, I'm not really sure what this is for. If somebody knows, yeah, go ahead and post it in the comments. Power switch, and then there's where you plug in your AC power. On the back side, we have the battery pack, which pops right out. I'm not going to do it in this video, but the battery pops right out, and you can replace it with any battery. So if you have a stack of these, and I believe they sold it like a charger array, you could have a bunch of them in there. And it does hold the charge. Yeah, very good charge at that. This is the hard drive bay, which has been changed out. Well, let's just show this because sometimes I talk about this stuff and I don't show it. And then I get a comment like, why didn't you show that? Or how did you do it? Well, in this situation, let's go ahead and take a look and see how I did it. So, as we do with loud doves today, and I do apologize for the doves in advance. I know there's been a few comments like, oh yeah, well, here's the issue. If I go into the other room that I sometimes feature, it takes me literally like 30-40 minutes to set everything back up in there and do it in that room. And that room isn't necessarily quiet. And trying to do it on an outside day like today when it's nice and sunny is fine and dandy, but you don't know if you're going to run into chainsaws, lawnmowers, airplanes, helicopters, emergency vehicles, neighbors screaming at each other, squirrels fighting in the trees. Take your pick. So it is what it is, people. All right, so what we got in here, and we'll just set this to the side, is this is where the hard drive caddy fit in, and I obviously took the hard drive out. I cloned it, but I cloned it to an SD card. I'd rather have a regular SD card in here, but all I had, because it's hard to explain, but I needed a 32 gigabyte card, and this is all I had with this. It's like an adapter inside of an adapter inside of an adapter. But hey, it works. It's good enough for what I use it for. So, and most people will say, well, why didn't you use the normal thing you use with the CF cards? Well, here was the issue with the CF cards. It wouldn't work. No matter what I tried using the ATCGW exe config and all that, it just, Windows 2000 did not want to install. And I don't know what the reasoning is. If anybody knows, let me know. Maybe there was something I was missing, but that's what's in there. And we have our spec sheet here, and underneath this is obviously where your RAM and processor, probably basically anything you need to service would be located under this. Well, you know what? Yeah, I tell you, I say I do these unscripted, so I should think, and I usually think about them and kind of go through what I'm going to say ahead of time, but I do like to keep these unscripted, so we're just hanging out, taking a look, and I'm trying to think what you're thinking when you're watching this. Like, what is this fool doing fooling around with a tablet from 2000? All right, we got that off. Okay, so there we go. So it does have one card populated, the other one is not. I believe that might be the BIOS battery there, possibly. And then this looks like maybe the wireless card, or I'm gonna guess it's probably a wireless card. No, that's the wireless card. This, I'm not sure what this is. But I probably should get some more RAM for this. I did take a picture of that RAM, so if I ever wanted to juice it up, make it a little bit quicker, then I could do it. But it seems to be running fine on what it's got now, which I'm not even really sure what it has on board, but we'll go into that in a second. You're saying, okay, enough of that. Let's get to the front now. Well, I gotta put these screws back in before they fall on the floor and disappear into oblivion. All right, that's done. Oh, and I did forget. Well, now we're on the front. This is where your stylus is stored, and that is replaceable. I do have an extra one. Indicator lights for power, battery, hard drive, and wireless connection. Then we have a bunch of different buttons that control different things. We'll just go through and hit them. So if I hit that top one, nothing happens, and I'll explain that in a moment. If I hit this one, nothing happens. This does control up and down, left and right. As you can see, it's moving. It does function, and then I have some other ones that are pre-programmed buttons that are more handy the way I have them now than what they were programmed for. And one of these, I believe, is a standby button. It's kind of hard to explain these buttons because they're all reconfigurable. At least these two are, but you can set them up to do different things. So let's not change that. Yes, we got the Stargate logo on there. Hey, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it right. So under entertainment, we got a whole onslaught of good old fun Windows 3.1, 95, early XP era stuff like Slam. Well, can I play this with? Let's move this. Can we move this up? There we go. Oh, this game's just no fun with no sound. I mean, you gotta have sound, right? No. See, it does require all morning. The minute I get started, then it's amazing. Oh. Grab. Okay, well, that's not working. Well, anyhow, that's a Windows game. Oh, wait. What the heck? Look at AirPen? I forgot about that weird mode, but okay. Good enough for now. Let's get this in the dock, because it's easier that way than trying to hold it. So this keyboard just plugs in like so. When you want to basically stow and go, you can take this, fold down this piece right here, and then you can either click it in that way or use it as a protective cover. I do have another cover that doesn't have the keyboard, but it is more handy to have the keyboard with you since there's a lot more you can do with this tablet. And let's just, this is kind of a weird thing, but you gotta kind of slide that back piece over to get it to sit at the optimal angle. And believe me, I'm not sitting at an optimal angle right now. All right, so let's go back to games. I was having a problem there. You saw a second ago with Slam, which is an air hockey game. Man, it just, maybe this doesn't work without us. Maybe I thought I've played this before. That is so weird. Yeah, like when I get to a certain point, it just drops the cursor entirely. Maybe an adjustment or whatever. Let's go to a few favorites. So we have Solitaire. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that is definitely Solitaire. I guess you put the king up here. No? Oh, what was it? The aces. Yeah, the aces. That's what it was. You can tell I haven't played this in a long time. And of course, everybody knows how to play solitaire, I think. But yeah, you want to sit for another 45 minutes, watch me play solitaire on a vintage computer, then, well, if that's your thing, then I could probably arrange a video for that, but I am not going to do it for this particular one. I do have SimCity 2000 Windows Edition installed. Why not? Just stuff to play with, kind of let it run, complete with sound. Yeah, okay, let's load Tokyo. I was playing around with Tokyo one day. Let's see if we can... Yeah, there's Tokyo. Alright, let's, what do we want to do? Let's do a monster. Oh, that's right, they don't have the Godzilla thing anymore, so that'd actually be more fitting, I guess, you know, with Godzilla, but... I guess this alien bug thing works just as good. Yeah, he's definitely messing up the city there. Oh, not in the park. Man, all those trees gone. Oh, man. Oh, let's take a look at the damage he's doing. He's really going to town. Wow. All right. Oh, fair enough. Okay, what else we got for games? Blackjack, we have Ski Free, we have Tut's Tomb, and of course Minesweeper, which I've never been great at. But I'm not, like I said, going to sit here. I had accessibility, accessories. I kind of organized these the way I used to, back in the day, the way I would have had them. With communications, entertainment, multimedia, and then so forth. So let's check out the specs while we were in this computer. It is running on 504 megabytes of RAM. So if I'm guessing, it probably maxes out at 1 gigabyte, maybe 2. I think it's possible with XP Edition. Now, I did have XP Service Pack 2, which is what this was designed for, installed. And it had a neat little utility you could go through and customize and change screen brightness and so forth. And it was really handy, but it was also very heavy loading. It seemed like it was using a lot of RAM and memory from the tablet. And I was also having an issue using the wireless card because it didn't have the newest WPA2. It only had the WPA1, so I couldn't get it to connect to put certain types of software from the internet directly onto this. So I did go ahead and upgrade, and this is the XP Tablet Edition 2005 version 2002. Like I said, SP3. But I can still adjust using the utility, I can adjust the screen brightness using display here, and I can bring the brightness down and up using this. It would have been handier to have a button here to do that, but I don't know, it seemed like it would have been easier having it just slightly different than what they did with this particular tablet. Now, there's not much else I can say. I mean, the keyboard is what it is. It's tiny, it's hard to type on, a lot of the keys aren't full size, so it isn't great at all. Mouse is okay for a track point. It's typical of like IBM and Tosh's and Compacts of the day. Now, the last thing we're going to do, because I really don't have much else I can do with this other than walk around and pretend I'm on Stargate, but I'm not really that kind of person that would do that. I'd rather have something that... And my aim for this was, I saw the deal on it with all the accessories, and it was too much to pass up, and the guy gave me a great offer on it, and it's all in pristine, like, mint condition. So my main purpose of buying this was to actually create a Stargate Atlantis Hero laptop. So a little call out there, if anybody knows where to get the actual bump cases that they used on the show, let me know, or want to send me one. That would be great. That would complete the collection. Perfect. But for now, it's kind of in its desktop configuration. But here is the final thing we can do that I kind of promised earlier. And some of these you may recognize, like I said, and some you may not in the background. So if you are watching the show in the future, like this one, I believe is prevalent throughout the show. You see it in different episodes. We'll let this go through a couple more, and then we will wrap this up, because there's not much more I can do with this video. He's working on some kind of power thing on this, I think. Subspace energy or something like that. Yeah, I was a fan of the show. The Stargate shows were fun to watch. Hopefully they bring them back in some form and include the original timeline and characters. Yeah, okay. Data log. Yeah, so he's jumped through. There's, I don't know, there's probably a couple dozen of them. I probably don't have every one of them, but I have a good amount of them. So most of the time, if and when I do have people over, whatever is a talking piece, I'll usually just throw this on and have it like running as a display. And oh, let's finish up with a couple other things. I believe this is a photo sensor up here. That's probably the onboard microphone, I'm guessing, maybe. And this is a biometric, I guess, fingerprint scanner. Well, that will wrap it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We have some more coming in the future. And by the future, I mean possibly within the next couple weeks, we'll have at least 2 or 3 more episodes featuring different retro tech and different things going on. That is it for now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you next time.